everybody. Today we're gonna do a top beauty items for complexion. So basically what that means are primers, highlighters, powders, bronzers, anything that you're gonna use that's not for your lips or for your eyes. I thought about doing my top 10 for everything or doing a video where I just did, you know, all my favorites, but I figured that would be a really long video, so I thought it'd be better to break it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started. So first is primer. This is actually a pretty new primer. It's the Victoria Beckham primer and Augustinus Bader and Victoria Beckham collab. And I haven't been using this long because it's a relatively new product. It came out last year. And you know, before that, I would say I wasn't really using a primer on a consistent basis. I do have primers that I use, but most of the time I would go without a primer. I would just do a moisturizer because primers I don't have oily skin. I wasn't trying to, if I was trying to achieve like a dewy finish, I use something else, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this is a moisturizer and a primer, and it has skincare benefits. I really enjoy it. It gives your skin a bit of illumination. It's just it's an excellent product. I have been using it consistently. It's 1 ounce. I think anyone with normal to dry skin will love it. I've been using it pretty much nonstop since I bought it, which is very unusual for me because, as I said, I wasn't really using a primer consistently before that. What I was using and continue to use is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. And this is in 2 Light. What I would say about it is if you can put it just here on your cheekbones, and I'll show you that in the video, or you can put it all over your face to give yourself a nice illumination. When I've been using the Victoria Beckham, that already does that. That primer has a bit of illumination to it. So I use the Flawless Filter just in this area here. It's an excellent product. I do recommend it highly for a face highlighter. I have ordered the Chanel, 2 of the new Chanel illumination drops. I've got the Rosy Light and the Pearl. I think it's the name, I forget the name of it, but they're coming soon and I'll do a comparison so you guys can see. Next is corrector or concealer or whatever you'd like to call it. I have never been a big fan of under eye concealer or correctors because I always feel like on dry skin, all it does is make my skin look drier. I don't love it. But this actually works. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct. I have it in 1CR and it just works extremely well. I have, you know, I won't go into lots of details, but it gives you coverage. It doesn't dry out your skin. It doesn't settle into fine lines. It stretches. It's an excellent product. You can use it under your eyes. I use it around my nose because I have a lot of redness around my nose. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. And I know that sounds so silly because all products should do exactly what they're supposed to do, but most don't. This one does. The next is the ByTerry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. I have it in a very tiny little container right now. It usually comes in something that looks a little bit more like this size, but I have this because my job requires me, not right now of course, but to travel a lot, and so I was able to get a tiny little container. It will last you forever. The big one, I swear, I mean literally years if it doesn't go bad. This powder is what I use just to pat under my eye. That helps with any smudging for your mascara. It gives a nice coverage. It's light deflecting. It does not settle into fine lines. It's the only powder that I've ever used that it doesn't. It comes in different shades now. It's an excellent powder, especially used under the eye. You can use it all over your face. The thing that I would say, if you're of dry skin, you really want to use a light touch. Like, I mean, super light. When I first started using it, I put it on like I would put on regular powder, and it looked bad. It settled into lines. It looked like powdery. I mean, it looked like I had caked powder on my face. I didn't realize you need just the tiniest amount just to pat under the eye. And over the face if you want to use it, again, very light hand. And honestly, I promise you, if you do that, you're gonna love it. Next is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. And this is a pressed powder. As you can see, this one I've used quite a bit. I've hit pan on it and I need to buy another one. This is in One Fair, and I use this as my setting powder a lot of the time. I will take it with a big fluffy brush and go in and just set my face. I feel like, again, my skin is dry. I don't want something that is going to be too matte, too finished looking yet. I want something that's gonna set everything in, but not, you know, give me a matte or dry looking face. That powder works extremely well for me. From everyone I've talked to, it works well for everyone. It works well for people with oilier skin and normal skin and dry skin. I can't speak to the effectiveness of it with oily skin because I don't have that type of skin, but I can say pretty confidently that if you have normal to dry, you're gonna enjoy this powder. It's just a really excellent powder. It makes everything look smooth, but it doesn't, you know, cake up or look like it's too much. It doesn't look heavy. It comes in, I think, I could be wrong, I think it comes in 3 shades. Fair is the lightest, but I'll double check that and put a little note if I'm wrong, which I am from time to time. Next, I'm gonna go into blush. I had a tough time here because there's actually a couple of blushes that I really like, but my favorite blush that beat out all the other blushes is my Chanel blushes. Now, I know this is kind of a broader category, so it's not just one product. It's all the Chanel blushes. I have never bought a Chanel traditional blush. So they have ones that sometimes come out that are special edition, like the tweed ones and stuff, and I'm not speaking about those specifically, although the ones I've tried have been great. But the ones that come like this, the round, domed blush, I have never tried one that wasn't excellent. Sometimes the colors didn't work for me, but the consistency, I mean, I've never had a bad one. They go on smoothly, they're easy to spread on your cheeks, they give you that beautiful color. They're powdery, but they're not like, they're powdery in a good way. I don't really know how else to explain it, but if you just pop a little bit on your cheek and brush up, you just look, pretty much every single one they have, it's just, they're beautiful. I have, you know, hats off to Chanel. They nailed the formula years ago, and they're excellent, and I've been using them for 20 years. Next, bronzer. My favorite bronzer of all time is gonna be the Tom Ford bronzing powder in Terra. I have a little one here. Again, I have a big one, but this is the one that I was using for travel, and it just gives an excellent glow. I used it on this look today. I am very fair skin. I think that it's buildable. People who have fair skin can use it. People who have medium skin tones can use it. It's smooth, it goes on perfectly. It's a great bronzer. I've been using it for a very long time and I love it. So it's an excellent product. It does come in the smaller size if you wanna, you know, try it out first instead of getting the big one. But I'm almost 100% if you buy the small one, you'll end up buying the bigger one later. It's just a really good tried and true product. It's got a great color to it. The Terra is, I don't want to say universal because that's a very bad term. There's no such thing. Nothing works on everybody, but it works on a lot of people, and it's an excellent bronzing powder. Next is the Charlotte Tilbury again. I've actually got a couple of Charlotte Tilbury in here. I didn't really recognize that. And this is the Filmstar Bronze and Glow. It's the face sculpt and highlight. I'm using this more as a face sculpting, like almost a contour, and this is the highlight. You could use this as a bronzer too. I mean, bronzer, contouring, it's basically the same. The difference is you might want something that has a little bit of a warmer tone versus a cooler tone, depending on whether you're contouring or bronzing, but I won't get into that for this. This product, I do not go anywhere without. Like when I'm traveling and I don't want to have a ton of stuff with me, I bring that so that I can just do a quick highlight, quick contour bronze with that. And it works extremely well. The colors work well for me. I've replaced it 2 or 3 times. Last but not least, I'm going to mention a loose powder. So the Kojendo Natural Lighting Powder is the loose powder that I use. I generally use it as a finishing powder with the Sonia G Face 1 brush. Buff it into my cheeks and sort of this area. Buffs everything out, makes it look all smooth, seamless. It's just a gorgeous powder. It gives a little bit of a, not highlight, I don't mean that, but it's sort of a glowy finish, and it just makes everything look smooth and really, you know, skin-like but better would be my my definition. So those are my tried and true, would not be without them, use them all the time, practically every makeup look, unless I am specifically doing, you know, a particular brand or a new product, I will use these products in the videos that I do. I mean, I know they're gonna look good. I know they're gonna show up well on camera. I know that when I go out the door, hopefully we'll be doing that again soon, they're gonna look great outdoors as well in natural sunlight. None of these things are gonna look, you know, cakey or too makeup-y when you go out, and they're gonna look great in person and they're gonna look great on camera. So I've relied on them and will continue to do so. So that's it. Thanks so much for joining me today. As always, if you could subscribe and like below, it really does make a huge difference as I'm starting out the channel. You know, it's really great to see so many people commenting and suggesting new ideas for videos and asking questions. I'm really excited by that. I'm glad to have you guys as part of the community that we're building. If there are things that you'd like me to do, certainly let me know. Or if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.